Alright, so all the stuff that we've been doing so far has been pretty basic. Lines, rectangles, erasing, picking up some of how SketchUp infers things or allows it to communicate with you on how to draw 3D. This episode we're going to actually get in and discuss probably the biggest tool that you're going to end up using in SketchUp in order to be able to create things in three-dimensional shape. I can't emphasize how important this tool is and how often that you were going to be using it. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump in here. I'm going to pan out and get in, and I'm just going to end up drawing a couple rectangles here. Or at least, yeah, let's just draw a couple rectangles. I'll even inference these things together so they're at least the same length in the green axis. Okay, so in previous things, in previous episodes, in order to draw this rectangle, we talked about how to get to the endpoint. Click once, go up in the blue, and then essentially infer to the other parts, and that fills things in when you create surfaces, like so. Which is great and all, but it does take a little bit of time. The tool that we're going to introduce you here to is called the push-pull tool, and it is located right here underneath the rectangle tool. It essentially looks like a box or a flat rectangle piece with an arrow pointing up. What this allows us to do is to click on any surface, and once we click on it once, again, click on it once, I am now able to raise that up and to essentially push it into 3D. So we can rotate around here. It is a much faster way of doing this. So here I'm clicking once on the surface of the top, and I can push or pull it up or down. I can click on this surface, push it in and out, such as this. So far with this as well, any flat surface. So it doesn't necessarily matter what orientation it is in, but please understand that when you are pushing and pulling, see, I can even have my mouse over here, and I don't have to hold on to any shortcut keys or anything along those lines. It's only going to move things perpendicular to where you are currently, what the surface currently is at. Okay? So for instance, well actually, you know what, let me show you this quick. If I wanted to draw a line here, let's just kind of get an angle. The push-pull tool also allows us to cut objects out. So I can click on this surface and I can push this in, but if I push it all the way back to the back surface here, it actually removes that entire piece. So that's what allows us to actually cut into and remove certain pieces. Okay, so I don't actually have to cut things out. I could just simply come in here and push it in. Okay. So, but if even I come in here at this angle, you'll see that it only pushes out perpendicular to that angle. So I'll hit escape again to kind of cancel that action before I complete it. So just understand that this is kind of a piece of the puzzle when you are using push-pull. Okay, it's limitations, if you will. All right. In terms of inferencing to other pieces, let me go ahead and draw a couple other rectangles here quick, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what's going on. Again, push-pull this up, click once, push it up, click once, push it up, and then to complete that I just click a second time. Now, for lines and rectangles, we showed you how to infer that in a few episodes ago. So let's show you how to infer things with push-pull. If I click once and I continue an action, I could come in here and actually move my mouse cursor over, and you will see that I have a dotted, or excuse me, a dashed line indicating that I'm inferring this surface that I'm pushing up and down to the same height as this surface. That's what that line means. Okay, so now these two objects are the same height. And I can do that to any surface, even through objects. So for instance, if I wanted this piece here to be as low as this piece, click once, and that inference line can actually go through other objects. This can kind of be interesting because I can infer to obviously many different ways of doing things, but there are restrictions on this. Okay, so if I wanted to push this out, I would not be able to infer it to this long piece here. It would have to be in parallel with it. Okay, so understand that it's here to help reference things, but it does have limitations, right? Oops, let me go ahead and delete these. Actually, you know what? Let's delete this one as well. What if I wanted to be accurate in my particular push-pull movement? We can do that as well. So in this case, let's go ahead and make a 2 foot. So 2 apostrophe, comma, 2 apostrophe. Okay, so that's 2 foot and 2 foot. And what if I wanted to make it 2 foot tall? So in this case, just like I would with my line tool, I would click once to start the action. I'm going to push it or pull it in the direction that I want it to go in, and then before clicking a second time to end the action, this is when I would hit or type in my dimensions again. You can see that obviously over my right shoulder here. And then I would hit enter, and then it would complete that action through SketchUp. So in this case, I now have a 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot cube. Okay, and this would work as well if I wanted to draw a rectangle on here, right, and then use that push-pull tool, click once, and I wanted to push it in, let's say, 5 inches, so that's the quotation mark, as you can see, not apostrophe, enter, and that pushes it in 5 inches. Alright, so it obviously can be done in a lot of ways. I could even come in here from this surface where it started, I can move that out 10 inches, whatever the measurement may end up being. Now, when it comes to cutting things out, there are some rules with that as well. So for instance, if I want to cut a hole in this block, I need to make sure that this surface here is parallel with the back surface that I'm going to be pushing it through with. So for instance, I click here to start, I can rotate around, and once I hit that other surface, as long as it's parallel, it will cut it out. So let me go ahead and undo that. If I were to come in here real quick just to kind of show you if it's not parallel, let's see, a rectangle tool. Okay, and now I'm going to push pull this. If I come back here, you'll see that because it's not parallel, it's not going to end up cutting that out. Also, on a side note, if I have a line or a line segment that is in my way, and it might not be visible all the time, okay, and if I come in here to push that out, it won't cut that out. SketchUp is not programmed to be able to handle that. So what you would want to do first off is erase this line, then come in here and push it through. Okay, what if, for instance, I was having an issue where I couldn't orbit around and actually see the back edge of what I wanted to cut out? Again, I could inference this by just coming to the bottom edge here, the back edge of the line, because it's a red square, and I click, and because I inferenced that, I didn't actually need to see the back surface. So kind of like that. Alright, what else are we going to talk about today with push-pull? Cutting things out, we talked about inferencing and accuracy. I think that's pretty much where we're at with the push-pull tool. So go ahead, make a bunch of different stuff. Come in here, push-pull it out. Have some fun with it. Start using these tools that we're starting to give you guys in relationship to building some random stuff. Okay. There we go. It's kind of an odd shape, but alright. We'll see you guys on the next one.